Good evening, everyone. I'm Kritika Monga from the Marketing Department of Elsevier, India. Today, me and my colleague Priyanka will moderate the session. We would like to welcome all of you for joining us for the session. Thank you so much. Before moving forward, I would like to lay down some hygiene rules for smooth execution of this webinar. You will be on mute throughout the session to maintain the decorum. You are requested to please post your questions in the Q&A tab seen at the bottom of your screen. We also request you to please refrain from putting any questions in the chat box as they will not be addressed. We will try to address as many questions as at the end of the session. I would now like to take the opportunity to introduce our speaker of the day, Dr. Jyotsna Rao. Dr. Rao is a senior faculty and founder director of SRS Dental Exams Academy, Bangalore. Earlier, she was a professor in the Department of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery, the Oxford Dental College, Hospital and Research Center, Bangalore. She has done her BDS and MDS from Government Dental College and Hospital, Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh. She has completed her PG diploma in oral implantology from Mahe Manipal and obtained fellowship in oral implantology from Indian Society of Oral Implantology. Dr. Rao has immense experience in teaching undergraduate and postgraduate students. She also keeps herself actively involved in exploring innovative and practical ways of coaching the budding professionals for various state and national level postgraduate entrance examinations. She also runs online coaching for dental students. We welcome you, ma'am. It's an honor to have you here, and we are looking forward to hear this thing from you. And I'm sure this session will be really beneficial for the students who are looking forward to appear for the exams. Over to you, ma'am. We
Thank
can
you,
just move ahead
Kritya.
with the session. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Kritya. Thank you so much for your wonderful intro of me. And I'm really thankful to Elsevier for giving me this opportunity to share the exam tips and tricks. I mean, it's a really a wonderful subject. Like we have come out, they have very good initiative in motivating the students to just first have like how exactly to go about with the exams. It looks very simple, but it is the session also is very sweet and like simple and the sweet session. But so actually exam preparation, the word exam itself, it creates a shiver in the students. Is it so? No. I feel exams are nothing. Like it is a first step, like all the doctors we pass through during our academic sessions. It is just a line or a bar you have to cross to obtain your doctorate. And every day is an exam in the doctor's life because you have to face each and every day new patients, new cases. So every day is an exam for us. But okay, fine. In the student life, exams or something means you read some questions, answer them, get some good marks, come out with the flying colors and with awards, rewards, whatever. Fine. So what exactly, is a exam preparation means? Examinations are crucial in the student life because we all will be very enthusiastic to like know who is going to top the class, like the rankers and all those things. But it's good, like everyone, first step is first to clear exam. If somebody like fail to clear exams will say, hey, it's a bad time, it's bad luck, my time was not good. These are the only things we hear. But no one will tell my planning was not good, my preparation was not proper. So all these things will never, I mean, like I could not revise the right books. Never you listen such a things. But the right thing is you fail to choose the right books at the end of the preparation. See, how exactly we have to go about with the exams. Not only with the exams, how should be your study plan during your student days. First of all, as the academic starts, we have to know what are the common books used and what is the syllabus. All these things are the prime things as we enter the course, we got to know. So as you have to start selecting the books, the first you have to go for the first you have to go about with the common books like the standard textbooks and all those things. But as it comes to the exam period, you have to start with the books which are very simple, sweet, like you have to, I mean, like choose quick revision books. Throughout the session, like we'll be going out with the common books. But once you come to the right book in the hand. Simple, sweet, whether it is a scribble notes from the college, what you note down from the classes, or a quick revision book, what like Elsevier has published, and I'm the author of that. For all the years from first year to final year, I have come out with such a books only in the view that it is a picked up material. I mean, like it is a conglomeration of all the standard textbooks. So it's really a wonderful choice at the end of the exams to get back to a quick review book. So that we also name the book in the same way. So what exactly, see, when you go with the final year, how many subjects we have to come across? Just see the list. You take a minute or two to read this. Ortho, pedo, community dentistry, periodontics, conservative, endodontics, oral medicine, radiology, oral maxillofacial surgery, prosthodontics. What a big list. The final year is like a list of 8 subjects we have to go through. And the period is only 12 months. So in that, maybe first half you can devote to your standard textbooks, but in the ending, just come down to the simple books which can make you, I mean, like get well prepared to the exams, because it's a mandatory. We have to cross that line of exams. So all these subjects, when you look at it, really it creates a great fear in us. Oh God, how I'm going to clear so many subjects. But no, don't worry. All these subjects, when you club, mix, match, it goes very nicely. I'll tell you how it goes. So what exactly are the steps in exam preparation? See, when you do any work, we should have some plan, some steps. So what are the steps in exam preparation? Proper plan of the preparation, procuring the syllabus in the sense like what are the chapters included, excluded, whatever it is, and knowing the pattern of question papers. See, pattern of the question papers varies from one university to the other university, but how much ever it varies, every paper will have some long essays, some short essays or short notes. These are the permutation combination of the questions they'll be asking. So better you should have a pattern of question paper so that you know how many marks allocated for the long essays and for the short essays and short notes. So accordingly, you have to choose the material to put it onto the paper, because though you have knowledge, we can't just put everything onto the paper. So legibly, according to the marks allotted, according to the category of the question, you have to answer them. And choosing the correct books or study materials. As I've told you, correct books in the beginning of the course or standard textbooks. When you come to the ending of the course, just prior to examinations, it is always some class notes or quick review series or any study material, whatever you feel like picking up. So as we are coming up, what is a proper planning? See, every work requires planning. So somebody who doesn't have a plan, their work will go very haphazardly. There is a saying, I think all of you know, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That is for sure. So whatever it is, a small work or a bigger work, a plan is a must. Even for conducting this session also, a good planning, great planning has gone out. And like, as they were introducing in the beginning, Kritika and Priyanka worked a lot on this small program. So how much you should work for such a big exams? So first is in the planning comes time. Allocation of the time is very, very crucial thing. And next, as I told you, you have seen the big list of the you can't complete. Exam. So combine the subjects. So combine means as in how you like, you can't do that. You have to have a proper combination of the subjects, and then some common textbook you choose, quick revision material you have. And after all this is all for the theory exams. You have 2 parts, theory and a practical exam. So theory exams, fine, we are reading all these books, procuring material, all happens. Practical exam, there are 2 things are important. One is theoretical application plus practical knowledge. You have to have a good hand in all the procedures, along with side by side. Whenever you read something from practical point of view, you should know what to remember for the practical exams. That finishes the practical preparation. There is no separate preparation for the practicals in that way. So the first step, time planning. How exactly time planning should happen? Suppose you are happy, leisurely finished with all your studies. You have some good time, 3 to 4 months with you. Aram se baith ke you can have around 2 topics in a subject per day. You can just have a leisure reading. You can go through n number of the common textbooks. If you prefer one topic from one book, other one the other, you just pick up. as in which book you like for which topic. Yes, there are good books for certain topics. So topic wise also you can choose a book. In an exam is the last priority in your list, then also no problem. You have some 15 days with you. You have some 10 days with you. Not at all an issue. I am there with you. My QR series is there with you. You just open it. In 10 days, you can finish it. I'll tell you how. Just read around 10 to 12 topics per day. It will help you to cross the exam. But I'll tell you, even that QRS also has to be read with a proper approach and planning. Then it is really a wonderful book to help you. So quick revision can happen in last 15 days or 20 days. But whereas nice exam preparation, you can plan in 3 to 4 months. Fine. This is one time planning. So next comes choosing subjects. I told you choosing subjects means not according to your vision will or like I like this subject, this is my favorite subject, not like that. You choose according to the overlapping topics. There are certain topics which are very, very common in two subjects. If you really have given attention during your preparation or when you study, you know, orthodontia, periodontia, lot of topics will go in similarity. Periodontics and community, they have fluorides, epidemiology, indices, and all these things. Where you read in this, you read in that also. So at once only you can know small differences might be there. Pick up those differences and just note down. It finishes in both the subjects. So choosing a subject with some you should have some knowledge like what is existing in what subject. First you should know the topics of subject, then only you can club the subjects. This is also not easy, as because I am telling you are now started thinking, but when you start reading you may not be having so much idea, because once one round if you finish reading, then only we know what are common in the subjects. Because as I've been teaching from so long, I got to know like what are the topics also. We'll elaborately see which topics also overlap. Okay. But subject wise, orthopedo goes well, perio community goes good, oral medicine and oral surgery. They also have got a lot of things in common. Only oral surgery, we have to add up the treatment part. Whatever in the diagnosis, I mean, the clinical features, diagnosis, everything happens in medicine. That part, if you are thorough, only thing you have to add up when you are answering in surgery is what are the various methods of treating it surgically. That's all. So they also have a very good lot number of the topics together, which go well. Conservative prostho, only little this thing matches. That is a material science which matches there. Okay, fine. That also saves a day or two just before exams. It's good. See, only pedodontics, you can club with all the subjects. That means pedo, you just start reading along with whatever subject you read. So it doesn't require a separate allocation of the time. Maybe a 1 day, 2 day, if you give attention, you can come out with that like management of the pediatric patients and all those things, temper tantrum controls, like parent counseling, all those things are little bit separate. That section, actually it belongs to the, I mean like you have to know in the pedo. Rest of the things like ortho, conservative, all these things will go very well with the pedodontics. When you're reading this subject itself, you can just club it, pedo application. So it finishes your pedo. See, like pedodontics is a subject wherein all the mixture of every subject is existing there. You pick one subject, you have it in pedo. So it's a wonderful subject. Actually, when we are reading all of this subject, we can think of pedo once. Okay, if it is a child, what I would have done. Okay, ortho. If it is in the children, how it appears. So the diagnostic test, how they vary in the children. Maxillofacial surgery. What dose of anesthesia you should give to the children, what type of anesthesia suits them. So if it is a fracture in the children, how we have to go about. We read fractures, but if you just give little implication like in pedo, how we have to treat, finishes the job. So each subject, same way, it helps you finish the pedo in hand with the other subjects when you read. Fine. We'll come to the elaborated close, the similarity between the subjects you can see. Like orthodontics, pedodontics, as I have told you, and oral medicine, oral surgery. These are the 4 subjects, two subjects with a good, very good combination. Like you can finish one shot if you take two subjects. So when you're taking ortho, you come see also it will be there. And same thing, growth and development of the face and dental arches in the pedo, a slight difference, but fine, it goes very good. When you read them together, you save a lot of time. Then development of dentition occlusion and development of morphology of the teeth and the occlusion in the pedo, this in the ortho and that is in the pedo, they go very well. And cleft lip palate in orthodontics, you can have the same topic, management of the cleft lip palate patients in the pedo, same cleft lip palate surgeries in the oral surgery. So this topic of the cleft lip palate is common between three subjects. This particular topic will be revised, repeated in three subjects. So this is how, like when you read, if you correlate and read, it will become very easy. And it will reduce the time, energy, everything. It saves a lot of your time. And then comes classification of malocclusion, etiology of malocclusion, oral habits, the treatment aids for the oral habit, I mean like breaking of the habits and all those things, we read in ortho. Same thing applied in the pedo. Done. Like see how many topics we have covered here. Almost more than half a dozen topics. Chuck, 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 it will get over once you start ortho-pedo together. Next, same thing with the conservative and the endodontics with pedodontics. See, in the pedodontics, caries in children, pit and fissure sealant application, atraumatic restorations, and restorative materials, what you use in them, rubber dam application, restoration of the primary caries tooth, how the anatomy varies when compared to the adult this thing, and pediatric endodontics, how the access cavities will be different in the pediatric teeth. If this much you give attention, same thing is there in the conservative endo. Cariology, fundamentals into preparation, tooth morphology, access cavities, preparation to the dental pulp axis, and endodontic surgeries, replantation of the teeth in conservative, I mean like endodontics and all these things. Exactly, you just give little attention, it covers both in the pedo and the endo conservative also. So this is how we have to match the subjects. Match in the sense not the favorite ones, it is a similar ones. You have to know which subject goes well with which subject. And common topics in the oral surgery and the pedo, as I have told you, extractions, traumatic injuries. Okay, fine, extractions. How do the instruments varies in the children? There will be a small minor sets. When you see the normal sets and when you see the pedo sets, you can see what is the size variation and how do the forceps design varies in the children and all those things. That's it. That's the only thing different. So when you're reading here, read it there also. When you're seeing in this department, when you're posted, just compare it with the pedo. In the Vigo also, it becomes very useful for you. Like, okay, fine, these are the instruments belonging to the pediatric department. These are for the oral surgery. So like that, application is very, very important. So how you deal with the traumatic injuries? Usually children fall around the age of 10, 11 like that. So same thing, we treat in the oral surgery. And if they happens to have a, I mean like take up by the pediatrics, it will go to the pediatric department. So how do they vary? Even practically also you can see in the departments. So anesthesia wise, how much you should give to the body weight, or like how do you calculate the dosages? And that much difference you have to note down. And coming to on what medicines you have to put the student, I mean like children. NSAIDs, antimicrobials, what dosage, what are the brands which are available, what is the cost of the medicines, because you have to be aware of all this. So if you cultivate a habit while you're preparing in the departments, I mean like practically or for the exams, it is one and the same. See, examination for the doctors, it doesn't mean anything in my sense, because every day you are answerable to your patients. There are examiners visiting you every day. So this examiner visits you only once during your academic session. That gets over. But daily you will get examiners in the form of patients. And now Google, the head of all these examiners, it will help them with half knowledge because they don't understand what is what. So you should have the thorough knowledge to fill that gap. So fine. When it comes to the choosing subjects, see extraction, traumatic injuries, anesthesia, medicines like antimicrobials and my painkillers, how they differ when you choose when compared to the children and the adults. So that difference, if you note down and read, oral surgery with pediatrics, pedodontics, it's really wonderful. You can cover a lot of subjects with good application and knowledge, which goes with you till your lifetime. It is not only till the exam. Exam is thing which gets over in a day or two, but your practice goes till you can work. Likewise, same, pick up the common topics in the oral medicine, radiology, and the examination part in the pediatrics, diagnosis, radiographic techniques. How do they differ in the children? So that much difference you note down, that finishes that part. And coming to the fluorides and the pit and fissure sealants, you do it in the community dentistry. Same thing is you see in the pediatric dentistry. Pedo topics like gingival periodontal diseases in the children and the home oral hygiene methods and all those things applicable to the children and adolescents, they are comparable to the same topics, gingival periodontal diseases in the children and the young adults in the periodontics. So perio has got a little application here. So all the subjects almost are covered with pedo. So that is a big mixture of all the subjects. So that is how you have to choose combination of the subjects. So that's up to the pedo and other relevant, all the departments relevant to pedo. Then coming to choosing the subjects with the similar topics, the next in line, as you know, like when you take two subjects with similar topics, I told you with the oral surgery and oral medicine, they also have a good number of topics in common. Say around half a dozen topics will match. Like every day, like as you enter the medicine department or the surgery department, regular cases, what you see are cysts, tumors, malignant lesions, diseases of temporomandibular joint, and then diseases of maxillary sinus, salivary glands. All these are the common things you happen to see in both the departments. When you are posted, you will get to know, like all of you are posted and you have gone through all this. So you know like what type of cases you'll be seeing in these two departments. Only difference is there in the oral medicine, they will do proper diagnostic procedures. They identify what is the disease, what are the causes and all those things, and they send it to the surgery for the treatment. So now once it comes here, again we dwell into all the things. We dwell with their clinical features, radiographic features, and we deal with the treatment in a great elaborated manner. So there comes just an addition. Oral surgery adds up for the treatment of the various diseases which are diagnosed in the oral medicine radiology department. Same likewise orofacial pain or the orofacial, like facial neuropathology, all these things. They go very well in both the subjects. So when you're reading Burkitt's or whatever standard textbook in the oral medicine, that's really very good. You compare with the same standardized treatment protocols in the oral surgery standard books. So that finishes the job. And when you read all this, come back to some normal normal quick review books in the ending of the course, it will really help you wonderfully. Like it will help you to revise, it helps you to remember for the future also. This is not only from the examination point of view, I'm telling you, you can apply all this throughout your life. It's not only for exams. And subjects with similar chapters, when you compare conservative prostho, I told only small section like material science matches, and same with the perio and the community, there also only epidemiology and the fluorides are the topics which go together. Fine, good books to choose. So our time planning is over and our clubbing of the subjects is over. So now you got a good knowledge, what time, how much time period I require, what are the subjects should I combine. Fine, you got a good knowledge of it. So as I told you, common textbooks in the beginning you have to choose, and good quick revision books or the study materials in the last, just before exam period requires these two categories. Choose a book which really suits and which really covers the entire subject in a standardized way. And next comes, we have clubbed the subjects, we have clubbed the books, we have done all the permutation combinations possible. Finally, I'll tell you, I asked you to procure the syllabus from the universities. Past question papers from the various universities we have collected. My book is like collection of lot of question papers from so many universities, north, south, east, west, all the universities I have included, how much ever possible, done a good effort to get them into your hands in that simple way. And we have maintained the same originality of the questions. There's no makeup and the makeover for those questions. They are straight away from the examination university pattern questions to the book. That's all. So now you see how you have to club questions. Clubbing questions, what is it? Now, that's what I want to say. See, we know the subject. You can't put it how much it is required for 5 marks or 2 marks or 3 marks, whatever is allotted according to university. So now it is a logic, it is a tactic. See, when you prepare for a long essay, in the same flow, you'll be preparing for the short essay as well as a short note. Fine. How? See, here we have given a small example, a screenshot from my book itself. So what are the signs and symptoms of the Leefort 1 fracture? How do you manage the same? The first question in the long essays. See, same thing you can see in the short essays, classification of fracture of middle third of the facial skeleton. So here we give the entire classification in the answer. This is the answer. So this is the answer. Here you can see, sorry, here you can see the first question answer carries the first box. You're seeing a blue color box which is highlighted. That is a short note. It is given as a 18 short note. You can see it is a Leefort maxillary. I mean, like it is a Leefort classification of the maxillary fractures they have given as a question. So this part, small part, it suffices for the answer of this particular question. And as you have seen, the short essay question 1, classification. You have classification in the different ways, like simple classification, you have according to Rowan Williams, according to occlusal involvement, like that. So all the 3 classifications are included here. So this will be sufficient for the classification question of the short essay question 1. And coming to the short essay question 2, it was a Leefort 1 level fractures. So Leefort 1 level fracture they have asked. So for that, you can start from the Leefort 1 fracture, the total description. So this is how matching of the questions. So long essay question 1 is a total combination of 2 short essays are covered, 1 short notes is covered. So that way you save the time. So here if you concentrate a little, you're covering so many questions in 1 shot. So this helps you to come out with a good presentation. And comparing the questions, that is one way. Now compare the questions. See, usually long essay carries 10 marks. Short essay carries some 4 or 5 marks varying on the universities, and short notes 2 marks. 3 marks in some places. Whatever it is, it doesn't make much difference. But when it is asked as a long essay, you have to elaborately write it minimum around 20 lines, so that you get some 10 marks, 20 valid lines. Okay, they ask you something like, when define growth and development, mention the theories of growth and development in detail, functional matrix theory, they have asked in the total question. So there, definitely 20-25 points you have to write. So same thing, when you come to the growth spurts, I mean like the Scammons growth curve. And there's a defined growth. Discuss briefly the clinical implication of the knowledge of growth and development in orthodontics is a question. So the same thing is being covered in this particular question also. And when you see similarly, when you see the different questions, you can see application here. Here by the side, we have given the reference to long question 4, reference to the short essay question 1. See, they have given growth spurts and 2 clinical importances. Whether they ask 2 clinical importances or clinical importance, when you write about the growth spurts for the short essay, it includes automatically all the things. So that's how it goes in a combination. And methods of gathering the growth data they asked. So methods of studying the growth, almost they are the same. And so likewise, when the question is asked, first you have to concentrate on them, like, okay, fine, in what way they are changed in asking. That is just answer remains the same. So you should be smart enough to identify those questions. So put them together. If they ask this or that or whatever it is, the content is the same. And when you match it with the different section also, you should know. For short notes, you don't write too much. See, growth spurts is asked. We don't write so much. Only 4 points are enough. Because in the 4 points, if 2 valid points they see, you get 2 full marks. So main criteria of exams is gaining marks. So this is how you have to compare the questions within subject, within a topic. Okay, that is a total like your, what do you say, theory exam preparation. So theory exam preparation involves good time planning, proper selection of the textbooks, proper selection, and then comparing subjects. Later, within a topic, just seeing the slide over questions, like which are the comparable questions. So all these things, they matter a lot. If you are smart enough in preparing this way, it will really wonderfully cover your time, cover them, and like the subject also will be covered well, and application. So this is how best you can do in your theory exams. Fine, this is done with theory. But theory has got a good advantage. You have additional marks from our side also. Our side in the sense, college will send internal marks, a small percentage. In some universities, as far as here in the south it goes, you add up some internal marks from the college to that, and some Viva question marks also will get added to the theory. So there additional marks will be given from the internal 10 marks, and Viva 20 marks also get added to the theory paper. So passing of theory is very, very simple and very, very easy. There if you gain some 15-20 marks also, you will pass. So that simple is the exam, passing of exam. But remember, passing of exam is not the criteria for the doctors. I say every day, passing successfully with each case in your practice matters a lot in your life. It gives a lot of self-satisfaction when you come back home from your practice. Okay, fine, I did a great job. I've chosen the right medication. I've chosen a right treatment protocol. So these are the things which really every day gives a satisfaction to you. So this is not unlike other professions. I've written exam, done, I got my certificate, have scored so many marks, I got gold medal, I got silver medal, done. There the story ends there. But here the story begins here. Where for everybody story ends with exams, for us the story begins with exams. So don't, I mean like don't look down at the exam as just an exam. Okay, fine, I have scribbled something, I got some marks. No, all this knowledge you carry forward. And next comes the other part of the exam, what you have to clear. So one part you have cleared is what do you say, your theory exam. So the next part comes is a practical exam part. How exactly you have to go with the practical exams? See, as I mentioned, while you're reading with each topic, you have some key points written. You keep one notes with you. Just put down some points, whichever are important for that. So some key points from each topic, you make a note of it. And while you're in the department postings, because you'll be posted for the clinical, this thing, what do you say, like clinical training or the clinical practice, you are posted for about a month or a month and a half in different departments, varying on their requirement. So you remember all the specimens and the spotters. They are nothing like, they are not getting them before the day of exam, this thing. They don't fall from the sky or so. They are the same materials, what we use daily. But we don't give attention. So one day before exams in the departments, they announce, hey, tomorrow spotters, all of you don't miss, come. Now that is not the case. We have to introduce all the spotters, all the specimens in the beginning of the posting, so that every day you get exposed to them. So there is no special spotters day for the before exam. If you miss that day, you are gone with the practical exam. Not like that. So just in the beginning of the posting, you try to see what are all the specimens to see, what are all the spotters. You can find out from your seniors, or you also for yourself, you can know what is a practical application of the materials, of the instruments existing in those departments. So you ask and find out what is for what, so that you will get a good knowledge about them. So there is no need of sitting and writing spotters note one day before the exam. So one thing is, make for yourself key points when you're reading the theory. Next one is, remember all the specimens, spotters, whatever instruments you see, whatever materials you use in the department, try to remember them. They are only the specimens and the spotters. The next comes, try to know some common medicines and their dosages. Because I've seen most this, unfortunately, I mean, like, it is not good to tell this way, but really it pains me when they come out as the doctors. I mean, like, full-fledged with the doctor badge on them. They enter the housemanship with a great collar, all the collars are put up and they move in the corridors. But when you come down to the departments, when they have to prescribe some medicines, blah blah blah, they'll have question marks in their face. Only what my senior writes, same thing I'll write. This is what I have seen with the students. So you have to practice to know what are the common medicines available. You can check in the Google nowadays. Otherwise, you can go to the any of the drug dictionaries are available. So just see in what form they are available, what is the dosage available, whether the pediatric doses are available or not, and what is the mode of injecting them or orally giving. What type of this thing packages are available, what is the cost, because every patient will not be able to afford. So you have to see the strength of the drug, what proper medicine you have to keep, what is the position of the patient who's coming to you. So when you're choosing a drug, you have to keep so many things in mind. Okay, no, fine. Nowadays we write third generation cephalosporins, chuck, 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 it will get nicely reduced and all. That is a different issue, but start with some simple drugs so that they don't develop the resistance to that. So wherever required, appropriate drugs should be chosen. That knowledge you start developing once you pass out these exams, it will be really great. Prepare it as a practical exam, it goes a practice for you in the daily life. Then comes the procedures to be performed in examination. So you know, like in different departments, what are the procedures they give you for exam? Cavity preparation in endo, extractions in oral surgery, and like in pedo, something they can give, they may give extraction, cavity preparation, or fluoride application, something like that. And you know, impression making in the prosto, yeah, so some removable appliance in ortho, like that, like depending on, I mean, like the practical cases. So that's a different part. Like that, you have to develop the skills. So there is no shortcut for that. You have to work hard in the departments. So this prepares you for a good practical approach to the patients. So practical exam with nice guts knowledge and with a lot of confidence, you have to walk into the department. For that, you have to remember a little bit of your theory at the back of the mind in the form of key points. And then in the book, in the QRS, in the rest of the years, first, second, third years, I have given at the end of each topic some Viva questions, MCQs, key points. So these are all the things just to memorize. Like there will be some Viva questions from that. And they are only the highlights of those particular topic. They help you a lot in the Viva. So make some key points for yourself. Remember the specimens and stoppers. I mean, like try to know the common medicines and dosages and available forms, and then practice proper procedures what ought to be, I mean, like learned in that particular department. This makes you a complete preparation for the exam approach. So now you are well equipped to go about with your theory exam as well as your practical exam. So practical is not something different, but only thing is a little bit skill added part. So you should have a theoretical knowledge, plus you should add up some, I mean, like practical exposure. Both are equally important. So according to Robert T. Kiyosaki, he tells you become what you study. As from the past, so much of the dwelling, you got to know like how well we have to plan our preparation. So how well you become, I mean, like by studying. So studying means how properly, like what is a proper method of study, you have to know. Everybody will study. See, some will tell, oh, I have studied 10 hours, I have studied 12 hours. So 12 hours, 10 hours doesn't matter. You read for 1 hour, but with proper approach, with proper knowledge. So first you start reading with the common books, you get to know what is what, where is what. And for your kind information, I'll tell you, in our QRS book, we have introduced one index at the back of the books. You know why? Because if you don't have the time to go through all these subjects, at least that index will help you to pick that particular topic where it is, that particular word. They'll give you something like Carnoy solution. You don't know what is that solution, whether it comes in radiology, it comes in medicine, whether it comes in oral surgery, whether it is something for developing or something for curing. You don't know. Fine, no issues. Don't know. That's all. But you don't be like always like unknowing. You have to know what it is, and it will be asked in Viva most of the time. So you go back to the index, check it. You'll get which topic, which subject. So to make that easy, we have made the subject in our QRS. So this is what is a small brief review about the exam preparation. I hope it might help some students if they really follow this sequence while they have started preparing for the exams. So now at the end, I mean, like after introducing you with the subjects, with matching and all those things, now I'll tell you what are the key points from this lecture you can take home. First of all, set a goal. I have to pass. Pass is not a big goal, but yes, for exams, it's a goal. Okay, fine. You are too intelligent. Keep a goal. I have to hit a medal. Fine. That also good. But first, set a goal. Whatever is your goal. Goals differ from person to person. For somebody, passing is a goal. For somebody, hitting the top mark is a goal. The goal is set by you. So set a goal, and then systematic skimming of the topics. As I have shown you, choose the topics which have the similarity. So you save lot of time in that. And then associated reading, engaging all your senses. What is this? What is this senses? What I have to engage the senses? You might be thinking, right? No, when you read, your sight, sound, and writing. calligraphy. All this matters. So when you're seeing a book, you concentrate and you form a picture of it in your mind. So if somebody says, if nowadays the books are getting in the colored sections, you can tell, oh, pink color, so and so book, this is a topic. When we carry Nilima Malik, we'll get that idea. Oh, this color, this section, oh, it is a maxillary sinus. This color, it is so and so. So that also forms one picture in you. And not only that, when you open a page, you see on the right top corner, I have seen one operative photograph. In the left down column, I have seen one classification table. So what was the table? So it leaves one impression, one image on your mind. So that is sight. So visual placement of information in the textbook into your mind, that is in the form of pictures, in the form of flowcharts, and making your own mind map. So this is sight. Next is sound. What is sound? How the sound helps? Do I have to on some music while reading? No, it's not that. Sound what you make. I mean, like after you read, you go do some blab blab with the colleagues, like your seniors, juniors and all. So if you get a junior fellow, you tell him, you teach him. If you get a senior person, you discuss with him. So both the ways, telling, retelling, discussion. All this will make you remember the subject still more in a better way. And next comes, as I told you, always write down your own small scribble notes. That helps a lot. A pocket book. Yesterday I've read this topic. Okay, these are the highlights. These are the take-home points of this topic. So that, I mean, like if you cultivate that habit, it really leaves some impression on your brain. Okay, this particular topic, these are the highlights. Fine. Done. The topic is done. It is recorded in your brain. So now you understand how the senses have helped. The sight, the sound, and the writing. All the three senses will help you remember the subject awesome, in an awesome way. Like you will never, if you want to forget also, this will not allow you to forget. So next is critical reading. Always read with good involvement, actively, not for your teachers, not for your parents' sake. You read for your sake. So reading actively with full involvement is very, very important. And not reading one day and forgetting the next day. I mean, like you have to repeatedly do that. That is the reason you scribble the notes. So I asked you to make the points because every day we can't read the entire text. So what you do is you have scribbled, you made some points. Just tomorrow, if you don't have time, just 5 minutes, just scan through. Yesterday what I have written. Okay, fine. This is what. So that repeats. Whatever you studied now, it will be repeated once. So it will be having a memory for a long time. And then whenever you read 20 pages, you read 10 pages, but always try to condense it and simplify it. Just put one sketch, one rough diagram, one layout of that, whatever you read. So this particular thing, these are the important topics. These are the important things I have to remember. This is the treatment. These are the clinical features. So just make a small, simple diagram of it, or something which is very, very simple to remember, simple to carry in your pocket. 1-2 days, you can revise it. So this is how you have to plan your study. It is not exam. I'm just telling you in general, for anything, everything, and till date you practice. As a good doctor, you should carry all these habits with you. So it should be helping out even in your life throughout your practice time. So I hope this will be helping you. At least if you have these habits, fine, you carry on. If you don't have habits, try to cultivate a few of them at least, they'll help you. So these are all the key home points, like set a goal, systematically skimming of the topics, then read associated, engaging all your senses, and then critical reading with active involvement, repeated study, condensing and simplifying the subject. And finally, as I told you, I have been telling you, my book has got this, my book has got that, what my book has got, see all these things. Questions of the each subject, they are arranged in the chapter-wise manner. Same as you open your textbook, it is equal to opening my book. QRS, the same along with the years, we have just given it in the topic wise manner there also. So everything is made easy for you. Whatever I asked you to do, I have done it already for you. So year of examination is given, Pakka original questions of that university are there, and wherever the answer requires some figures, flow charts, tables, they are appropriately arranged in the significant places where they have to be there. And finally, this book is so significant, like it is a schematic presentation and the precise answers, and how much ever legible answers you require, they are tailor made for you. And this should be helping you a lot in the exams. I hope, I wish, and I wish all of you good luck in your exams, not only in exams, throughout your practice period. Try to follow these points and have a nice practice. And all of you fare well in your exams. Whichever is the exam, it is always the same thing carries with you. And you can have my books with you available in your hand, that is in your phones. You can just order it on Amazon. It is amazingly, you'll get it in a one day, as my marketing team was telling with me. Fine, I hope so, because they have to share this point with you. So this is what is exam preparation tips and tricks. So exam preparation, all of us will write exams, all of us will pass exams. That's not a great thing. Maybe if not one time, two times, three times also you can write. That's not a thing. But best approach, best preparation, and best planning, they will get you to the good results. Hope this will be helping you always. Hello.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Kritika.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, ma'am, we have received certain questions from the students. I'm sure this session
sure.
is very beneficial for the students for their
Thank
upcoming
you so
exams.
much.
So, I will just read out questions one by one.
Sure.
In this pandemic, as you know, ma'am, students are at home and
Yeah,
they are missing those classroom setups. So they are
yeah.
facing a lot of struggle in concentration. So
Okay.
they are, if there are any tips you can recommend that how they can increase their concentration in studying, so that will be really helpful for them. A lot of students are asking this.
Hope we have to get back to them like this session with them. If they mention what are the topics, if the best we can help them, it will be a great help. But I don't know how far it is possible. But as I told, like whatever material is existing with them from the class notes or from our QRS, if they don't have, better they let them go to Amazon. So I think in the next click, Kritika will be seeing a lot of raise in the Amazon sales. I'm not just kidding. It is true, 100% true, I tell you. If you can't concentrate on your regular textbooks, pick up QRS. You have a good, I mean, like exam oriented questions in your hand. And not only that, I'll tell you, because some textbooks might be there with you, but it is a pandemic doesn't come in the way of exams, as far as I feel. A decade I've been a professor, so I've been teaching the students, my great wonderful kids. They are just like that, they are asking you, Kritika, I'm telling you, they are more smart. Okay, the textbooks what are available with them, and if they apply the same tips what I'm telling, no, that will be more than enough. In case if they have any queries like this, I'll ask them to post it to Kritika so that Kritika can help them.
Sure, ma'am. Elsevier is always there to help our students.
Sure.
So another question is, although you have explained it in one of the slides, but I'll still read it out. How much time a student should be allotted to each type of question? Like how much time they should spend on long answer questions, or how much time they should spend on short answer
Yeah,
and short
this is a
notes?
good question. This is
Yeah.
really a wonderful question, I'll tell you, because the exam timing is only 3 hours. So in the 3 hours, what happens? You have only 2 essay questions in any of the universities, and you have 5 short essay questions, and some 10 short notes question will be there. And I'll tell you, you should always start with the short notes question. Short notes say 10 questions you're writing. 10 into 2 minutes, 20 minutes. In case if some lag, somewhere you're writing 3-4 points also, first half an hour. So in 3 hours, got it. In 3 hours, one half an hour you're removing for the short notes. So the rest 1.5 hour, they can write short essay questions. There'll be around 5 or 6 according to university. And how much time is left with them? 1 more hour. So one half an hour for each long essay question. I think this should be sufficient. Or if they are smart enough, if they can finish, I mean, like if they take out 10 minutes from each short essay section in the short note question, they can get back to that, I mean, like that time to the long essay. But see, how much ever you write the long essay, how much time we have given for the long essay? 1 hour. So how many marks you get, I have showed some mark slide there. Kritika, you have the access to that mark slide?
You need to go back, ma'am. I don't have the access to the screen. I guess you are sharing it. You can just
Okay,
flip through
fine.
that slide here.
Fine. No issues. Yeah. See, long essay question, 10 marks. So you have some two, say 20 marks. For 1 hour spending, you're getting 20 marks. Say there are about 5 short essay questions or the 6 short essay questions. You write in 1.5 hours. So you get 30 marks. Okay. And then the short note questions, they'll have 2 marks, something like that. So 20 marks. This is an old pattern. 70 marks question paper, they carry like this. Or if it is 100 marks question paper, the marks are added to the short essays only most of the time. So what I feel is 1 hour, like 45 minutes to 1 hour should be enough for the long essays. So 20 minutes they can spend for the long essay, and rest of the time, next half an hour for the short notes, and all the rest of the time they can allocate to the short essays because they'll fetch them more marks. So, I mean, like it is what do you say? It is individual priority, Kritika. But as far as this marks is there, you have to have the knowledge of the marks. So I'm spending this much time. So this many marks, like I can expect from that. That should be the calculation actually. So 20 minutes for the long essays, and then 2 to 3 minutes for the short notes, and 10 minutes for this thing, short essays they can take. 6 minutes, 6 to 10 minutes, like that. It varies from the question to question. You will save in one question, you can add up to the other question. But overall, you can give 1.5 hours to the short essays. So that is my idea. But it can be little bit rearranged according to their own priorities. Hope it's clear and the students might be satisfied.
I'm sure it looks like yes, ma'am. Another question here is, shall they study with the should we study with the lesson-wise approach, or they should start going through the question papers first? What should be the
No.
approach they should follow?
That is what is the thing I told them. Why you should know the topics, why you should know the overlapping topics. And whenever I'm telling you procuring study material, in the beginning slide we have told, university question paper collection. And this QRS does a very good collection of the questions. So you see the weightage of questions, which topic carries more questions, you better start with such a topics. I mean, if you don't have time. Otherwise, normally, regularly, all the topics we have to read. But in case, as I told you, quick preparation. 15 days hai mere paas, 20 days hai. So just go about fast. Which topics are more having importance? See, some topics will be there. Intro topic, age related, genetic related topics in some orthodontics and all those things. Though they don't require the much preparation, You can just skip through them because there are so many topics like that. You can just avoid them. And I'll tell you, like as you have raised a good question, I'll tell you there are certain topics in ortho. See, theories of growth and development, development of occlusion, classification of malocclusion, oral habits, all these things, definite pakka questions will come. So they can find out from some seniors or from teachers, faculty also they can approach. And which are the important topics? First, we have to finish with them. And there will be some unimportant topics like in ortho, introduction, skeletal maturity, age factors, genetics, lab, materials. All these things doesn't require much attention. So you can give less weightage to some topics. So priority of the topic depends on weightage of the question. So you should first know which topics are more important. So choose important topics like from examination point of view. So when you come to my subject oral surgery, we'll tell LA, impactions, trauma, TMJ ankylosis, maxillary sinus means fistula, oroantral fistula, facial pathology means trigeminal neuralgia, pre-prosthetic surgical procedures, and orofacial infections means Ludwig's angina, salivary glands means xyloliths, Wharton's, like xylolith in the Wharton duct removal, pleomorphic adenoma, or xylography procedure. These are the common questions, common topics. So you can't skip such a things. So but we don't know, like these are the only questions going to come Anta. But it is good, like the weightage, depending on the weightage, you start with the subjects, start with the topics. When you pick a subject, you take out the important topics first so that any one or the other question will be covered from that, either long essay, short notes, or short essay. So it's good. You have to know which topic carries more weightage. Hope it's clear.
Great. When we have a lot of students from KNR University, Telangana, they are
Huh.
asking whether this book will be useful for those students also, because I guess
Yeah,
why they are asking,
definitely.
they follow a different curriculum or I don't know,
No, no,
different
no.
university
I'll tell
exams.
you the confusion, Kritika, because when this book was written, the
Yeah.
questions are marked as Andhra Pradesh, AP. That time, the Telugu states were not divided. So
Okay.
all the question papers belong to Andhra Pradesh. But as such, nothing like that. AP or Telangana pattern is the same. And all this book proves to be very good for their exams because they are the question banks and like named as Andhra Pradesh, but now from past like few years, from 4 5 years, like it is Telangana, it is named. So suddenly our question banks will not change as Telangana. So it is a I mean, like what do you say? It is a chaos or the confusion in their state getting divided from the Andhra Pradesh. So it is a division of Telugu states which has caused all the confusion for our wonderful kids. So, okay, tell them whether it is Andhra Pradesh or it is Telangana, the pattern of the examination and the questions remains the same. Question bank, they follow the same thing. It's wonderful question, really. Sometimes we get to know only in this manner. It's great, good. This question, this book proves to be very good for them.
Oh, great. So there are certain questions. I'll take just last one more question because we are running out of time now.
Hello,
People are saying whether now the
hello,
exams are approaching from approximately, I guess, September onwards. That's what they are writing. So this is the
hello,
time they should. Hello, ma'am, can you hear us?
hello.
Hello, yeah, ma'am, can you hear us?
The question is not clear, Ritik.
Yeah, should I
Ah,
read
yeah,
it out
please
again?
tell me. Yeah,
Okay, so students are saying this is the right time because the exams are starting from September 1st onwards now for a lot of universities.
yeah.
So whether this is the right time to buy these quick review series or they should still continue reading the core
This is a
textbooks.
high time. This is a right time for our book. The right time for the standard textbook is finished.
Okay, great.
No,
I
this
think
is not the time for the core textbooks. They should have been having the knowledge of the textbooks by this time. And this is a time only for us. There is no choice. Jyotsna Rao is a choice. I'm just kidding. And I mean, like, it is a choice for all the, I mean, like, short notes, whatever they have prepared in their classes, or if they have any short review books, or it is our book. It is an excellent choice. If they choose this book, definitely they will come out with the flying colors. I guarantee them.
great.
Just,
Thank you
yeah.
so much for the lovely session today, ma'am. And I would like to thank each one of you for joining us today. I'm sure this session would help you in many ways. Also, the
Hello.
recording of this session will be available and will be shared with each one of you post the session on your emails, and the certificates will also be shared with you on the email. Ma'am, any new last words of wisdom for the students for their exams, and then we'll close it after that.
Just all the best. Hope you all will get them. And like you should not be running out of the stocks to supply them. I hope so much of the stock should be kept with you.
Sure, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, definitely. All the students will be getting benefited from this book. Start reading it in the manner I have told you. Definitely, this will be a great help to you in this last minute of the exam preparation. And also, it is really a confusion period whether the exams are going to be held or not, and all those things. No issues whether it is held a little later or sooner. The same pattern you follow, and this book is of the great help. You can, in the middle, if you have any choices of your own textbooks, also you can have a quick review through recap through your textbook. But this is not the textbook time. This is a quick review series time. Fine. Thank you so much, Kritika, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.